Yeah, so we started off. It's funny because we actually didn't start with brews. I actually had the idea for cider because the apple farm just over the road. And when I discussed this with my brother, who I came to the city with, we actually then decided to bring our recipe for Nordic Brew. Yeah, we started off quite small. We put in a lot of planning permission. Luckily, the government allowed us to kind of bring in the actual. Oh, the lights have just gone off. Generator's bad. The government allowed us to bring it in, which was fucking awesome. And we started off quite small, some really small kind of deals here and there with the old owners of Tequila La and a couple of people down as Bahamas, which is quite cool. And then after a while, we basically just done like a soft launch, big beach party, and everyone started to like what we were bringing, and started to enjoy what we were making, which is quite cool.
All right, so the process starts by putting the fresh water into this. This is our mashing pan / cooking pan. We'll get to that later. But to start out, we heat the water to around 50 degrees Celsius, that is, and we add the barley malt. Actually, should I go into the details, like the difference between barley grain and barley malt?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so the grain itself, if we would just mix the grain itself with the water, it wouldn't help us much. So we have to actually produce our own malt. So we take the barley and we put it into some water for like 1 or 2 days, so that actually the plant, the grain starts trying to develop into a new plant. So the enzymes inside the
Is
barley
it like
corn,
a form of formation almost?
You couldn't say that. It's like more of an activation of the enzymes within the grain itself. So yeah, what we do actually in this process is separating the solid parts of the mash from the liquid, and we only want to use the liquid, obviously. And this we do here. So basically, there's a graded floor in there, which is has very fine grading, and then the solid part will stay on top of the graded floor, and the liquids will, pour through to the bottom, and we can collect it there. And after the initial liquids have been separated from the mash, there's still a lot of nutrients and sugar and stuff we want in the solid, sort of cake on top. And what we do then is we take hot water and just rinse it, keep rinsing it until we have, in the bottom, we have enough, liquid product with the, we do tests all the time during these processes, and we measure the amount of sugar in the so-called wort, that's the liquid part in the bottom. And and we when we got to 14% sugar, we that's done, and then the remains, the leftover mash, we sell that as food for animals around the, for the farms, for the pigs and the horses and stuff. So that doesn't go to waste. For the aroma, we have some actually quite rare hops out of Finland, and that's where the whole circle closes with the, the taste of Finland, and beyond being from Finland.
What is the process to ship that over here?
Oh, it's modern shipping. I think they do it by boat. I think it's quite expensive and takes a while until it gets there. But yeah, we think it's worth it. It has a very distinct fruity, citrusy aroma, which is it's exactly
not
what we want.
Normal, is it really? For you don't usually see that in ales.
There are similar strains in mainland Europe and England, but it has a very in America it's quite rare, and it has this special something,
Yeah, definitely.
So so we basically pump like I said, the wort, the liquid, back into the cooking pan. And then we cook it for like an hour with the hops added in there, and that will, give it its trademark flavor. Right. So obviously, when you cook liquid, you have, if you want to drink it and keep working with it, you have to cool it down. So after an hour of cooking, we cool the
You guys okay?
liquid down. Then we add the yeast, which is like I said, British style Abbey ale yeast. Yeah, and then we start fermenting the beer. We can call it at that point. So when the yeast joins the wort, it becomes the new beer. At that point, people don't realize is if you would drink it after the fermentation of the week, or for the week, it's still very unpleasant to drink, because the problem is the yeast, while metabolizing the sugar, it creates side products which are considered not very tasty. So the good news is, though, if we lower the temperature a little bit more to like 4 degrees, 3 degrees Celsius, and give it some time, mostly around 6 to 8 weeks, the same yeast still stays a little bit active at these temperatures and slowly but surely metabolizes the side products again, to the point where they are basically gone and you can, have a finished beer.
So the process for the Berserker shots, is that also done here?
Oh yeah. The
Yes.
Berserker shots.
Yeah.
So basically what we're doing is we take a batch of beer and distill the alcohol, and then we add some, our secret recipe, add some more stuff to it,
Yeah.
to get the effects,
The effects
that you're aware of.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, but basically it's the beer that we distill even further to get high percentages of
Yeah,
alcohol.
gets the high percentage up. It is
Exactly.
In
Like
cases like
purifying
when I
it,
said about batches that might go wrong, are you able to recycle that into the Berserker shots at all?
Oh, we could, but we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
We
Yeah.
don't.
Ah, right.
Like, if
You
there's
wanna keep-
something
yeah.
faulty with the general taste, or like if anything goes
You don't want to
wrong,
mess with anything.
the aroma and the flavors are completely different. That's why each step that I explained earlier, we have to keep to the recipe as tightly as possible to ensure the quality is always the same, and the flavor doesn't deviate too much.
So obviously I know that it's Nordic Brews, Taste of Finland, and obviously you've just said that your hops are coming from Finland as well, but obviously you've got Bjorn here, which is a very Nordic name, and it's how much influence is coming from that sort of portion of Scandinavia in general for this establishment.
Yeah, so the actual brewery taste came from me and my brother. So my brother Nordstrom, unfortunately, isn't in the city anymore. He actually is in Finland. He's one of the guys that supplies us with the hops. When I came to the city, we basically brought the recipe with us. I had the dream of wanting to start a brewery and to bring what we had in Finland, because if you go to Finland or any kind of Scandinavian or Nordic sort of country, ale is quite a popular drink. It's pretty much all we drink, that or mead. And we basically wanted to kind of bring that here and see if we could kind of, bring the same taste. Obviously, there are minor differences, like we say, because we have ingredients from here, but the hops are what bring the taste. So that's why it's all like the part of taste from Finland,